To Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. If you need a roof or anything involved in contracting, make sure you call Ireland Contracting. They're #1 in the business, #1 in Pittsburgh. 1-800-NEW-ROOF. They don't do roofs. They just do gutters. They do siding. They do just about everything. And I know Paul Zeise is going to be calling them. He needs some work on his house. So 1-800-NEW-ROOF. Ireland Contracting.
There you go, Ireland Contracting.
All right. You know, we've been on Gregory Polanco recently. Yeah, he's put together a nice little stretch right here. And I was questioning until today why Austin Meadows wasn't starting since Sunday, but we found out he took a foul ball off his foot, and it was sore, and it was a precaution. They kept him out yesterday. They kept him out today. But he had an opportunity to give the Pirates their lead, get him back into the game, and he struck out a good at-bat, 7 pitches. But, you know, I wonder if we'll see Austin Meadows in the lineup tomorrow.
What was Polanco tonight?
1 for 3.
1 for 3, all right.
Yeah, so he's raised his batting average, and I think he got on base now? 6 straight times until yesterday. So
he's at what, 216 now, 217?
Yeah, 215. That's still bad.
That's the point.
In the grand scheme of things.
The point is he was so bad.
Yes.
That, you know, it's one of those things where you knew, like, for instance, Dickerson and Moran and those guys were going to come back to life. You know that he's not going to stay at, you know, 198 or whatever it was for too long.
And, you know, we talked to Clint Hurdle today about Cullen Moran batting cleanup, and I kind of like that move. And he's done pretty well in that position, in that spot. I mean, he's had 7 straight games with a hit. So I kind of like their lineup the way it is. You know, I wish they didn't have a 4 outfield rotation still. I want to see Austin Meadows in there, even though Gregory Polanco is playing well right now during this stretch. I'm sure we're going to see Polanco again tomorrow, I would guess.
But I think it all goes back to this. If Gregory Polanco continues to do this for 2 or 3 more weeks, it opens up the door if they want to trade Corey Dickerson.
Yes.
That's what it does.
Because right now you have a crowded outfield.
And that's the reason that they're doing it. They can say whatever they want to say about all these. He took a ball. It's a precautionary with a 23-year-old. Come on,
yeah.
Sure, whatever he is. They've been doing this for 3 weeks, hoping that Gregory Polanco catches fire because it gives them the option if they wanted to trade Corey Dickerson. They can, and they can basically say, well, I mean, Polanco is, you know, these are our outfielders of the future.
And Corey Dickerson would probably be the odd man out because he has 1 more year.
He has 1 more year. Arbitration next year.
He's going to 10, 12, something like that.
He's going to get like $10, $11 million next year, and then he's going to get a contract for 12, 14, 15 million a year for like 5 years. So they're not going to give him that. They're not going to pay him that. This is their outfield of the future. I mean, they have Marte till what, 2020 or 21, and they've got
Polanco for
to like, you know, whatever it is, and they've got, you know, Meadows is just, you know, this is his first year. So they've got this outfield under control for a lot of years.
Do you think there's any guy that's untouchable? Marte? I mean, I know they probably wouldn't deal someone like him, but
Marte.
You could get a lot more for him, I would think.
Marte, probably Tyon, I would think. I mean,
and Meadows, I would guess.
Yeah, Meadows.
Josh
Marte.
Bell.
Nah, I think they would move him if a team gave them the right deal, they'd move him.
Do you really?
They realize he's never going to be a good first baseman.
Defensively. And he's not lived up to expectations at the plate for sure.
Right. But if someone gave them the right deal, I think they would trade him. I think the only untouchables are Meadows, Tyon,
Marte.
and Marte.
Vasquez?
No, I think because the thing about it, you got to understand, if you don't think you're going to contend this year, which they don't, or next year even, what do you need a closer for? Now, he's a guy that's under a team-friendly deal for what, 4 years?
Yeah,
5
that's
years?
why I don't think they would trade him.
But the point is, that's why they gave him the deal. Because if someone, say the Yankees, or some team that has a really, like it's a contender that has a stocked minor league system, needs a closer at the trade deadline. You're not giving them a rental player like, you know, Melanson was. You know, Melanson was a rental player, and they got a pretty good deal for him. Now you got a Vasquez who's much younger than Melanson was, and he's under control with a team-friendly contract for 5 years. You can get a king's ransom for that. So, yeah, I think he would be on the block. I think he's not on the block.
Yeah, but
if someone calls and they make the right deal, I think he would not be untouchable. I really think Marte is a guy they would not move, and I think that Meadows is a guy that would not move, and I think that Tyon is a guy that would not move.
I know they'd love to move Sean Rod. Let's go out to Joe out in McKees Rocks. How you doing, Joe?
Good. My question is, why did they send Frazier down and keep Rodriguez? Was it economics?
Yep.
And if you was manager, would you make that move?
I don't think it was Clint Hurdle's call.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what we're seeing comes from above Clint Hurdle.
I think it comes from the top.
It does. I mean, I think the whole Meadows for outfield thing. I think that's not necessarily in Clint Hurdle's hands.
So let me ask you this: is there a point in this season when they think or they know they're out that they're going to send Meadows back down to try to save him that year?
If they can, yeah. I believe.
I think that would be a PR nightmare.
It will be, but you know what? I think that if he cools off just a little bit, and they fall a couple of games out, well, we need to go take him down there to work on his swing or whatever. That's coming.
You leave him there until September, or
if I don't even know what the numbers are for the Super 2 stuff.
It's usually sometime in June,
but I don't know
right?
if we're beyond. It's service time. It's number, so
Yeah.
it's a number. It's not necessarily a date. It's a number of games or innings or whatever from a certain point. So my point is, yeah, I could see that happening easily.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen too, especially because they're proving that they favor Polanco out in right field too. So
They want him to get hot
yeah,
so that in 3 weeks,
they could trade Dickerson.
if they need to, if they, the right deal comes along, they can trade Dickerson. That's
The
all.
worst
that's about.
possible place they could be is around 500, a game over, 3 games out.
Which is where they'll be.
Where they were last year. And then it's like, they won't do anything. That town will hate them. And
Or worse, they'll sell.
yes, I don't see them selling. I think they go in the middle, which is like the worst. I think you don't sell and you don't buy. You kind of hedge your bets
For
a little
instance,
bit.
I don't see what the advantage of having Rodriguez here over Frazier is. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't either. I like having Asuno up here, and we talked about this the other day. We got to take a break. Back with more of your phone calls. Some of your tweets coming up next. Stay right there.